A great guest for us, Randy Cerveny, professor of geographical sciences at Arizona State University. So let's get right to him here this morning. Randy, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, have you read all those books behind
I'm impressed.
A lot of them were written by my students. So.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Well, congratulations. That's your legacy stacked on those bookcases behind you. What is happening in our skies or our atmosphere that is forcing us to experience some of these warmer temperatures, hot temperatures, in fact?
Well, we've got two things going on. We've got the short term idea for the warming that's going on around the planet right now is something that's called El Nino. It's a warming of the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is such a large ocean that when the temperatures change over a large portion of that ocean, it impacts the entire planet. And so that's the short-term cause. Long-term cause is our planet is warming up. Year after year after year, we are getting progressively warmer temperatures. You add those two things together, and we hit the jackpot this summer.
Wow. Okay. So the information we're receiving is the last month average 76.89 degrees across the lower 48 states, passing the previous record set in July of 1936. We're going way back during the Dust Bowl. Tell us a little bit about what you know about the Dust Bowl and that era and how we've been able to cool since then and why we're heating back up now.
Well, the 1930s were definitely a hot period across the United States. As you mentioned, we had the Dust Bowl situation where we had heating that took place over the Great Plains that impacted much of the United States. Big difference between what happened back then and what's happening now is that this is a global situation, that we're not seeing just temperatures that are warm over the United States. They are very, very warm. We've hit record temperatures across the all 48 states. If you remember last March, we were incredibly hot here in Phoenix. That's kind of what the rest of the country experienced this last month in July. But not only is it, as you were saying, it's not only limited over the United States, but its entire world is basically heating up. That's one of the big differences that we're seeing between now and what happened back in the Dust Bowl days.
So we experience it as humans, obviously, and we sweat through it. We deal with it. We have air conditioning, things like that in a lot of parts of the world, maybe not so much in Europe. What does this do to the animal kingdom? You know, you think about the glaciers in some parts of the world and things like that. What does this do to our animal lands and where they reside?
Well, one of the biggest things that we've seen with increasing temperatures and the heat waves that we've had this summer has been wildfires. Wildfires not only here in the western United States, but across Europe and across Asia as well. Those wildfires, as we know, have produced an incredible amount of smoke, obviously killed a lot of wildlife as well, but produced a lot of smoke that moved across the entire planet, particularly along the eastern seaboard. We've had some of the worst pollution this summer across the eastern United States that we've seen in years.
So let me ask you the same question I ask our meteorologists often. You know, she'll say, we broke a record and we hit 118 today. And every summer, it seems, we break that record. How high can we go? How many records can we break? In central southeast England, this is the country's 5th heat wave this summer. How many of those can we withstand? How high can we go?
That's unfortunately a very, very good question. I don't have a good answer for you. We always think that we're getting, we should hopefully level out our temperatures and that we should stop seeing such frequent record high temperatures. But year after year we are. One of the things that I hear, particularly on social media from so-called experts, is that, well, this is just summer. When we are in just summer, we don't experience these amounts of record high temperatures. Give you an example. Last time that we experienced a cold temperature record here in Phoenix, Arizona, was back in the 1990s. The last time we've experienced a record high temperature has been this year. So we are getting warmer. This planet is getting warmer. It's not due just to the urban heat island effect. That does play a role here in Phoenix, but it's across the entire planet.
Is there anything that we can do? You know, you hear some people in science say drive less, recycle more. Is there anything that we can do, or really is it inevitable that we are just going to get warmer?
Well, unfortunately, we are getting close to the point where what we call feedbacks, the response that our climate system makes to these giant changes, just is really hard to stop. So what a lot of the work, particularly here at ASU, has been doing is what we call mitigation, trying to make things better, trying to reduce our impact by, say, painting the tops of buildings white so that you're reflecting more heat, trying to reduce the amount of concrete that is absorbing heat and putting in more green. That's all things that can help lower the climate for a specific limited area.
Okay, Professor, I'm just going to tell you to stay cool, stay safe, right?
Stay cool under pressure.
Yeah, and hopefully we get through this summer. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. We'll call on
My
you
pleasure.
again. Yeah, you were wonderful. Thank you.